Bring your palms together at the heart center in Namaste. When you feel steady and comfortable, gently close your eyes. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamrutavarshiniം Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayiniം Amba Tvam Manusandadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshinim Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yadkrupātamaham Vande Paramanandamatam Paramanandamatam. Gently bow your head down. Bring yourself to the class. Prepare yourself for the session. Whenever you feel ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes.
Extra. Yes. What did we discuss in the last part? We were discussing different names of different seekers. So, which ones, 4th, 5th and 6th, we concluded together? The chanting. Now, we will progress on to seeing certain meanings of more names and then we move ahead. So, for the names in 1.5 that we have seen, Drishtaketu, we can also assign Panchayamaha of yoga. Drishtaketu, symbolic of Satya. Chekitana of Ahimsa. Kashiraja of the Kashi that we saw. We can add on to the Titiksha and in Yamas, Brahmacharya. In Viryavan that we had seen, we will see this Sattva Purusha, that is Viryavan, as Asteya, non-stealing. Kunti Bhoja, we take Kunti Bhoja as Buddhi, Uparati or Titiksha. So, Panchayama also 1.5 and 1.6 as Pancha Niyama as per yoga. Which would be the niyamas? Let us see. In 1.6 we saw Yudhamanyuscha, Yudhamanyu Shaucha, Vikranta Santosha, Uttamaujaha Tapaha, Viryavan we will take as before only. Saubhadro, Bhadra Kalyanam, in Sanskritam we say. So Swadhyaya, Saubhadro as Swadhyaya, and Draupadeyascha, for Draupadeya we will take Ishvara Pranidhana. Panchayama, Pancha Niyamaha. Have we understood this verse? Yes. Now we will progress on to the chanting and understanding of the 7th verse. Bring your palms together in Namaste. We will chant once after me, then we will chant together. Asmakam tu vishishtaye Tanniboda Dvijottama Nayaka mama sainyasya
नायका मम सैन्यस्य
संजार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते।
सञ्जातान् ब्रवीमि ते।
One more time together. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तम नायका मम सैन्यस्य संजार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते. So says, therefore, also know, O best among the twice born, Dvijottama, twice born, the names of those who are distinguished amongst ourselves as well. Now that I have chanted the names of the other army, let us also see the most distinguished men of our own army. So I'm just going to chant them for your information. Who's saying this? Who is saying this to whom?
Duryodhan.
Yes, Duryodhan is saying this to the teacher. And who is narrating it? Yes.
Sanjaya.
Yes. To Dhritarashtra. Wonderful. So we see this verse bringing Duryodhana to chanting and repeating the names of the members of his own army, thereby trying to match the strength and valor. So when we know who is there in the opposition, what do we decide? Okay, who amongst my army will battle with the other? So he will mentally start assigning now who is going to fight against whom, realizing the strength, realizing the capabilities. And therefore, he goes on and he begins by saying Bhavan, Bhavan Bhishmascha, and so on. First, he will say Asmakam to Vishishtaye, Tanni Bodha Dvijottama. Here, Dvijottama, twice born, in a way also he mocks that you are a teacher, you are twice born, you are a Brahmin. Your work is to study the Shastras, and here I am having you on the battlefield. So, in a mocking way, also we see the work of Duryodhana, the understanding, the handicap of Duryodhana to speak in such a manner with his teacher. So, Asmakam tu Vishishtaye, ours, Asmakam, ours, Vishishtaye, far better. Our army is far better. Why? You are there, you are best among all other Brahmins, all other Dvijottamas I know. You have recited, chanted the Vedas, everything that you know in a way of mocking. Remember, he is saying this mockingly. But you are here to fight. With whom? The students that you have taught. So, what kind of teaching is this? That all your opponents are your own students. So, in a way of mocking, that even after seeing you, they are not taking a step back. So, such kind of teacher you are. He's saying this very, very mockingly. Then, Nayaka mama sainyasya, my leaders, Sanjartham, the names that I am going to take. Very simple verse, nothing much to understand here. Asmakam will be symbolic of ahamkara. When anybody says asmakam or I, the verse begins with I, always note it is denoting ahamkara. Asmakam mama, mama ahamkara. He is speaking out of ahamkara. Vishishta. Vishishta here will mean prasiddha, vidyabala. One who also has Vishishta Vidyabala, knowledge of warfare or any other knowledge. At times, Now, when he's going to mention the names, we are also going to see the weaknesses. Like we saw the qualities of strength for the Pandava army. Now we are going to see for the Kaurava army certain weaknesses that they are going to carry. Again, we see Sanjartham. Sanja is to give names, naming. So one who has a buddhi of Veda, of differentiation. संसार का लक्षण क्या है? भेद बुद्धि होना. The indication that you are still samsari, you are still in samsara. Mentally, physically, you will be there, it's okay. But mentally, you are there in samsara. What is the sign? Bhed buddhi. Everything that you see, it comes with a comparison, with a degree. It comes with differences. So as long as you are able to see differences in one person, differences in many people, remember you are in samsara. So this Bhed Buddhi, indication of Bhed Buddhi is also given to us. When we study Ma Gita, we are taken from Bhed Buddhi to Abhed Buddhi. We are taken from Bhed Buddhi to Abhed Buddhi. So as long as there will be comparison at the level of mind, no, we are still a part of samsara. The day this comparison of tendencies in one person, of that person another person, or any other event, when that stops completely, it's dissolved, remember you have stepped aside from samsara. So this is a Vedantic understanding of samsara. Like we have three major qualities. One is Bhed Buddhi, it is one of them. Second is always to be in either future or the past. To always be in the future or the past. So whenever a person meets us, either we are in the future or the past. Knowing them through future or the past, that is also samsara lakshana. It is sign of attachment. So you are not accepting the present. When you are in the past or the future, it is symbolic of not accepting the present. So we see Duryodhana also is taking their names and is comparing in the future, is in the future already, what is going to happen next. The sign of attachment is us not acknowledging or being in the present. One who is free from the past, one who is free from any kind of attachment, will always find himself or herself in the present moment only, naturally. Not even in the next hours of the day to come. Where in the moment? Present moment only. So Bheda Buddhi, then either being in Dvaita, that is, what is Dvaita? Purva and Uttara, past as well as future. Whenever the mind is there, no, we are in deep attachment. It's a sign of deep attachment. And third sign of samsara, mamatva, ahamatva. Me and mine. If the thoughts in the mind are related to objects that we think we are in our possession, as ownership, know that we are in ahamkara, mamatva buddhi. That which comes and goes has to be accepted as not mine, but as Ishvara's. What are the three signs of samsara? Please tell me.
The Veda Buddhi,
Veda buddhi.
then being present in past.
Yes.
Yeah. Being attached
Dvaita
to
buddhi, Veda buddhi, Dvaita buddhi,
and mamatva.
mamatva. What will be the opposite of this?
Viveka
Abhed buddhi. Abhed buddhi. Viveka is the way to do it. Then Advaita buddhi. Vairagya is the way to attain. And finally, yes,
Moksha.
from mamatva to mumukshu. मकार मकार को जोड़ दीजिए. ममत्व to mumukshutva. Mumukshu is the one who wants to attain or experience the ultimate freedom, moksha. So these three are to be understood by us. Any questions here? Please ask. Sanjartham was symbolic of naming or Bheda Buddhi. Verse 8, let us repeat. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha
Bhavanabhishwasmakarnaksha
Krupascha Samitinjayah
Krupaksha Samitam Jaya
Ashwathama Vikarnascha
Ashrathama Vikarmascha
Saumadattistataiva cha
Samadatistateva.
So yourself starts from Bhavan. Bhavan is yourself. Who? Drona. Yourself, and that is Dronacharya and Bhishma. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha, Karna, and Kripa. More names. Samitinjayah, Ashwathama, Vikarna, Saumadatti. All of these names will be taken. Samitinjaya is not a name. Remember, it will mean victorious in war. So this verse will be symbolic of Jadatva, grossness of 5 elements. From the Vedantic perspective, we see Bhavan, Bhakare is there, Bhumi or earth element. We are seeing not the perspective which is Laukika, Vedic perspective. So on the battlefield, we chanted the names, but we are not supposed to only remember the names. Why? Because our memory is limited. स्मृति कैसी है? कुंठित है. तो क्या किस पे ध्यान देना है, यह आपको निश्चय करना है. If a person remembers all details of the war, who fought with whom, what was the time, what was the arrangement, everything, the Mahabharata is memorized. Will there be any benefit to this person? No. But if the Bodhatmaka Gita is memorized, there will be a long lasting impression of mumukshut. So what needs to be remembered even in the Gita? We must draw our attention to that. Reason being, memory is limited and time in life is limited. So one has to meditate on the qualities. We saw just now Bheda Buddhi, from separation of names to Abheda Buddhi, to the Bodha that we have to take from it. So when we talk about Bhavan, क्या दृष्टि करनी है? What we need to meditate upon in this verse? What does it mean? Bhumi. Bhishma. Bibheti sarvan. Or Bhayankara. Aap or water. Bhishma representing water. Aap. कर्ण, कर्ण्यते अनेन शापानिति कर्ण, फायर, अनल. कृप, आकाशः, हम और आकाशः. अश्वत्थ और अश्वत्थ, we can have the drishti of vayu, air. विकर्ण, the मनः और मनस. विगतो कर्णो धर्मश्रवण अध्यास इति विकर्ण. That is manah, that enables our mind to be in, or the karna senses to be in dharma. Dharma has twofold tendency, pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti is to act right, nivritti is inaction. Both are dharmic. Two tendencies of dharma. Inaction is far valuable than action, and only inaction helps us in performing the right action at the right time. Everybody performs many actions. What is it devoid of? The understanding of righteousness in that action and the understanding of time and place with that action. So dharma is twofold. Therefore Bhagavan says, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Further we will see. In verse 1, no response as whatsoever. From whom? No verses from Bhagavan Krishna, because Arjuna has not asked, I want to learn. So we'll observe what's happening. We'll observe the play. Why? Because eligible seeker of the highest knowledge is only the one who wants what the knowledge is going to give. So in the first chapter, we see no verses from Bhagavan until Arjuna asks, I want to know. So only when there is this question that comes in servitude with faith, one gains the answers, one gains the grace of the Guru. So Bhagavan therefore gives the Upadesha of Dharma as pravritti at the right time. He wants to directly go to nivritti. Arjuna is saying, I am on the battlefield, but I don't want to fight the war. I want to move towards sannyasa. Bhagavan says, no. You have to dispense your duty or dharma, which means it has to be twofold. First pravritti and then nivritti. You cannot directly, after facing a difficult situation, be in nivritti. You cannot escape what your karmic transactions are, what your duties are. But yes, how you do them, how you fulfill them, that will not lead you to bondage, but for freedom, is known as pravritti in the right direction. So Dharma Upadesha, whenever we see, it is always twofold. Pravritti and Nivritti. Pravritti Dharma, Nivritti Dharma. We must know both about this. Which is my Pravritti Dharma, which is my Nivritti Dharma. So, when we are discussing Vikarna, we are discussing Dharma Shravana Adhyasa, the mana, which decides on to both Pravritti and Nivritti. Vikarna is symbolic of the mana. Because in the previous part, in the previous class, we discussed the verses will also give us understanding of Sankhya, the tattvas of Sankhya. Saumadatti, Buddhi, intellect, field of intellect. Somena Dattamiti Somadatti. Yuddha Visharada. When we say all of them are Yuddha Visharada, that means everything is there, but there is no Viveka Visharad. एक होते हैं युद्ध विशारद, दूसरे होते हैं विवेक विशारद. युद्ध विशारद जो युद्ध करने में माहिर है, विवेक विशारद जो विवेक करने में माहिर है. यदि विवेक प्रबल हो तो युद्ध की जरूरत होगी नहीं होगी. इनमें विवेक बलशाली नहीं था, इसलिए युद्ध की जरूरत पड़ी. सर्वे युद्ध विशारदा, द टर्म हैज बीन यूज्ड एज विद युद्ध विशारदा, नॉट विवेक विशारद. विवेक इज the understanding of pravritti and nivritti at the right time. So we see Bhishma also, what was lacked? Where there should be understanding of pravritti, nivritti was exercised in the case of Draupadi. So all of this has been led to the war. Why the war is taking place in the first instance? We see because there is no understanding of where there should be pravritti, that is to act, and where there must be nivritti, where not to act. So everything is good with them. Just what is not there? Correct understanding of dharma is not there. That's why dharma samsthapanarthaya, because of no understanding of dharma, such a big catastrophe, such a big civil war can break out. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Dharma samsthapanarthaya, I have to be avatarit. What is difference between Ishvara and Jiva? In avatara, any avatara taken by Ishvara is not bound to karma, free from karma. But for a jiva, for an individual, bound by prarabdha, destined karma. Are we able to understand? Yes. So all of these are Yuddha Visharada. सही समय पे सही चीज को निश्चित नहीं कर पाने वाले लोग हैं. अच्छे हैं, परंतु कैसे है? सही समय पे सही चीजों का निश्चय नहीं कर पाए. नो एक्सक्यूज फॉर इट. Could not decide onto the right things at the right moment. Why? Sometimes we see even because of the influence of Kala, influence of the Desha, environment. देश काल, इससे भी धर्म से कोई अच्युत हो सकता है. That's why we say when you visit a certain place, you become somebody after going there. Sometimes for a little while you act a certain way. When you act it for a little bit of time, you come back and you realize I have to act the same way. That means I have to have my actions in the same way. So now count how many names we have taken and let me know once. If you have any questions here, you may ask before we proceed. Otherwise, we would have simply surpassed these verses as names. No. If they were only names, they wouldn't be in the Bhagavad Gita. They would have been in Mahabharata. We will progress on to the next verse. Last verse for today. अन्ये च बहवः शूरा
अन्ये च बहवः शूरा
मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः
मदर्थे तप्तजीविता
नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः
नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः
सर्वे युद्धविशारदः
सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
Now together. अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः. Anye cha bahavaha shura, and many other heroes apart from you, say Duryodhana, who are determined to give up their lives for me, for my sake, armed with various weapons and missiles. We are all well skilled in the battle, he says. For my sake, they are ready to give up their life, thereby asking, are you ready to give your life for my sake? So we see people who are in ignorance, they will try to sacrifice or make others sacrifice for themselves. They will not sacrifice anything. They will ask others to sacrifice for themselves. So in this verse, we see the same tendency of Duryodhana. Indirectly, he is saying, I will live until you give your life. So you will go first. If there comes a time of life and death and you are with me, who will go first? You will go. But this is not the sign of a great leader. What will a great leader do on the battlefield? Will himself face. Therefore, we have many instances in our history where two kings have decided not to wage a war and they fight only amongst themselves. And whoever dies among the two loses the battle. Why? Because they say we don't want bloodshed of our army. Rather, you and I as the king, because we are deciding on behalf of others. Let us both fight. This is sign of excellent leadership. And here what do we see? Duryodhana saying, अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे त्यक्त जीवितः नाना शस्त्र प्रहरण सर्वे युद्ध विशाल. All of them will be able to give up their life for me. This is his understanding. So experience in war was more regarded at this time, and all of them had some experience in war. Therefore, our army is better. In 5 ways, he says, our army is better. What are the 5 ways? They are shuraha, they are brave. And they are madarthe tyakta jivita. For me, they are devoted to me. They are on my side. Not only physically, but mentally. They are not on the side of Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas. And weapons. Nana Shastra Praharana. They have experience with the weapons. They have experience in war. Yuddha Visharadaha. So he is giving up 5 qualities in which he feels they are better. Who are better? The ones he is naming. They are better than the Pandava army. So based on these 5 qualities in my men, I am waging this war. They are ready to give up their life for me. So he is just reassuring, reconfirming their loyalty. Scared. We see Duryodhana is in a scared state of mind. He is going through hysteria, constantly blabbering and speaking. When these verses come out, they are not verses coming out of a person who is in Shanta Chitta. They are coming out of fear. We shall pause here for today and continue to meditate on the verse in the next. Bring your palms together in Namaste. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Feel grateful for this learning. When you're ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes and externalize. Take Ma Gita with you wherever you go today. Apply all the teachings wherever you can. Namo Namah. Dhanyavad.